Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to today's live coaching session. I'm Justin, one of the founders here at SiteSwan. I'm very excited to do this with you because I've got more questions today than ever before. You guys have been so good at submitting questions ahead of time that I got so deep into looking these over that I'm 2 minutes late. So sorry, but welcome. To start things off, find the questions tab in the bottom right of your screen. And from there, I'd like you to post one win that you've had in your web design business since the last time you were on one of these. If it's your first time on one of these, then let's post a win there for anything that has happened positively since you've started. If this is going to be like any other session we've had, there will be a mix of people who are brand new as well as people who have been with us for a while. And either way, we're going to have questions that all of you can benefit from hearing answers to, or just benefit from hearing the questions being asked. So I am very eager to get to these because, like I said, there's a lot. I want to move through this quickly today. Let's see what we got as far as wins. You guys came prepared. I like this. Justin says we had our first website demo. Congratulations. Rehan says I've closed a client since I launched last week. Awesome. I'm going to get to the questions in a bit. Kevin says sold a site, upsold a page, sold business cards, flyers, and doing ads. Wow, Kevin, very nice. Mike's got a meeting right after this at 2 o'clock with a potential client, a personal trainer. Oh, Mike, I'd love to see the site you put together. Ed says a new website is now asking me for social media and SEO, so growing through the power of SiteSwan. Awesome, Ed. Christy says got a referral from our newest client, and they're going to be signing up for a site with us as well. Oh, I love referrals. Carrie has their first sales meeting next week. Very nice. Denise, only in about a month and a half now, and I have, whoa, guys, listen to Denise. Denise has been with us for a month and a half and has 6 websites already. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Eva, I saw your question. We will get to it, I promise. Craig says now over 10 customers, 11 total. Should be over 15 by next week with the demos I got scheduled. That is so cool. And Andrew has sold a new site. That is awesome. Guys, give yourself a round of applause for these wins. Thank you so much for sharing them. We got 40 people on so far. I think at least 25% of you have included a win here, which is awesome. So please, if you got more, keep them coming. Because I think everyone can benefit from hearing the wins that you guys are willing to share. I don't care how big or small it is. It's something that will, I promise you, help someone understand the potential that they have selling websites to small businesses. A couple of people, if Lisa's here, she's a little down in the dumps because she hasn't been able to successfully get on the phone with someone in a cold call. We are going to talk about that today. And while we're talking about that, for those of you who have successfully closed the cold call and you've gone off script a little bit and done something a little bit different, let's talk about it because any little thing might be able to help somebody else who is perhaps going through a difficult time. All right, you guys ready to start? Let's do this. The questions that came in were many. I'm going to try and get to the folks who are actively on the session today first so that you guys are rewarded for submitting your question ahead of time. I would like to know if Joseph is here. Joseph A., you submitted a question beforehand? Yes, you are. All right. Joe says, if a nail salon or a shop that wants online booking, can we embed their plugin on the website that we built for them? I was searching for some appointment software, and they mentioned their plugins are compatible with WordPress. Are they compatible with SiteSwan? Let's talk about this. So what is Joe asking about? He's talking about if a nail salon wants someone to come onto their site, select the provider, select the time, select the day, click submit, and then have that appointment scheduled automatically. That is a somewhat common thing with simple service providers. And usually the software that they're currently using to manage their appointments has a web widget component of it that they might not even realize they have. And it's usually a copy and paste of some code, gets embedded right into a SiteSwan site. Now, If you've been researching third-party solutions, which means that you'd be introducing the client to a new software to do this for them, you might see them focus on talking about how they're compatible with a specific platform like WordPress. WordPress powers an incredible number of sites across the globe. But it does not necessarily mean that it's only a WordPress plugin. It very well possibly could have another plugin compatible that is platform agnostic, meaning it can go in anywhere. Now, I will say this, the better scheduling softwares out there are going to be platform agnostic because they've made the investments in the technology to allow it to work everywhere and not just specific to one platform, as widespread as WordPress might be. So keep that in the back of your head. If you're looking at something that's only a plugin for a particular platform, chances are it's probably not as good as one that has been designed to work anywhere. And again, if they have software already to manage their appointments, you are going to want to look into that or have them look into it to see if there's a link you can add to the website and let people book like that. That is a very fast and easy way to get set up. My voice is dry. Mike says, is it possible in the future? Mike's asking for a feature. Feature requests get automatically sent to our support console. I'm just kidding. Where we can add multiple photos as one photo, like side-by-side collage. The best example of this is on the modern barbershop theme. Second section after the hero image. Let's look at that together. The short answer to your question is no. We don't have that. Is it possible to introduce a feature like that? 100%. And let me just show you what we're talking about so we can all get on the same page. I'm sorry. This site right here. If you look at the homepage, we have a really cool thing going on here where there's two images kind of sort of like off stacked a little bit. This is just one image. So if you wanted to recreate this, you would have to load two images together into like a Canva or Photoshop or something like that, and then save it as one image with this blank space around it. This is actually transparent aspect of this image. For those of you guys who are not super familiar with how images work, I'll briefly discuss it. There are two types of image file formats that are most commonly used that support transparency, and they are PNG and GIF files, and also WebP, but you really can't generate those as easily. So GIF, which is GIF, and PNG, Peter, Nancy, Gary, and those two file types support transparency, which means that whatever's in the background, whatever the image is placed on, the background's going to shine through it. A JPEG image does not support that. So when you are generating this in Canva, Photoshop, whatever your preferred program is, make sure you export it as GIF or PNG with a transparent background, and you can do something exactly like this, any proportions or sizes that you want. But thank you for that feature request. We will log it and make sure that it does not go ignored. Amish says, can we make sure all the sessions are recorded? Yes. So little do you guys know, or maybe you do know, I don't know. This session is being recorded. You can see the REC button on top. I think I could see it. And after we wrap up, this will be able to be viewed from the beginning if you'd like to automatically. We're also going to post this to our YouTube channel. If you are not currently subscribed, go to youtube.com. youtube.com/@ SiteSwan. Don't ask me why there's an @ symbol in it. Click subscribe and you'll get notified every time we put a new one live, so that if you're not here for the session, you'll at least be able to watch it later and be alerted about it. Okay? Okay, great. And by the way, we just put up a new video yesterday that you guys got to check out. We've been asked so many times about multilingual or bilingual websites in these sessions. I decided to put together a how-to video that talks exactly how to do this. So if you want to catch this, it's a few minutes long, tells you exactly what you got to do. All right. Next up, we got, is Tim here? Tim B. Is Tim B here? Tim B. Tim B. I don't see Tim B. All right. Tim asked a question that a couple of the people have asked, including Sean and someone else. And it basically is saying this: hey, my site's up and I'm not getting any action on it. Let's talk about that. So if you are brand new and you just launched your site and you're wondering why it's not coming up first in search results, that is natural. It is normal. You should not be expecting your marketing website, as beautiful as it is, as good as it's capable of getting top-notch search results. It is not going to by itself all alone bring in leads through your door every single day, especially not in the beginning. In the beginning, your only option, not your only option, your smartest option, your best option, the option for those who want to find most success as quickly as possible is to go through the 14-day launch plan and focus on the 3 things we tell you to do. And that's to look at social outreach, to look at warm outreach, and to look at cold outreach. Those 3 things are how you are going to snag your first 5, 10, 15, 20 clients if you do it the right way. It might help you get secure all of your clients, okay? Those 3 phases, social outreach, warm outreach, cold outreach, are what you are going to be using in the beginning to make sure that you sell some sites. I'm going to stay on this topic for a second because someone else asked about something along these lines. And let's see if I could find it. Oh, where is it? Gosh, I thought I had it. I thought I had it right here in front of my face, and I don't. One of you were asking about how do I manage to, oh, here it is. What's the best way to balance prospecting while working a full-time job until you can transition to website development full-time? The best thing to do it is after work hours. There is absolutely nothing wrong with utilizing all the tools we give you in the 14-day launch plan after your traditional work hours, on the weekends, in the mornings, whenever you can, on lunch breaks, whenever. Um, if you're serious about this, shoot, take a day off from work once every few weeks. Leave early once every couple of weeks. Give yourself a fighting chance at making this work. The good news, too, is that a lot of businesses who will happily and eagerly answer the phone over the weekends, after hours. You want to catch an HVAC guy? Really good time to do that? After 4 p.m. They're finally back in the truck, heading back, looking to see what's going to happen for tomorrow. They're answering their phone, getting back to people, stuff like that. Great time to reach people in the evening, on the weekends. Do not second guess the idea of hitting people after hours because it works. Is Tina here today? Tina, I see your questions. Let me see. Tina? Tina? Tina. Well, whatever. I think I saw her. Tina? No. Oh, I think she is. Okay. Tina, what's the best size to upload pictures to avoid blurry photos and logos? Tina, I don't think you should be experiencing any blurry photos or logos so long as you're uploading a decent size image. What do I call decent size? I'm going to call decent size at least 500 pixels wide. 500 pixels, absolute minimum. You should not have any issue with logos. Photos, I'd like to see more like 1,000 pixels wide. Any photo you're taking on your smartphone, any photo that you're grabbing from Pixabay or one of our whatever, any of the solutions that we have when you're adding an image to a site, those images will be perfectly fine. If you're experiencing blurry photos or blurry logos, please, please, please reach out to our support with the link to the site. Tell us which photo is in question. We will happily go in and look at it with you to make sure that there's not something inherently wrong with the image itself or your sizing and get that straightened out for you. Tina also asked, how do you make a drop down from the navigation item, but make the main navigation page non-clickable? For example, galleries on top. You can't click on that, but there are sub pages of gallery. Let's show you how to do that. Who knows, by the way? Type drop down if you know how to do this. I don't know what site I'm clicking on. Cool. Who knows how to do this? Type drop down. Anyone? No? Everyone stumped? Okay, cool. Let's do it then. Let's show you. From the pages area, you go to manage pages. From the manage pages area, Christy knows. You are going to, don't click add new page. No, no, no. Click over here. And when you do this, you go right down here to add new drop-down menu. A drop-down menu is going to do exactly what you asked for. and you're going to be able to add something to the navigation, but it won't do anything. It's not really a page. So now if I want to add a page that is desserts, because that's my theme here for the gallery, what I'm going to do is make a subpage of, I'm going to choose gallery, save my changes. So now when I look at my navigation, you are going to see that there's an option for gallery, but you can't click on it. Nothing happens. But you can click on desserts. So this is clickable. This is not. Okay? Got it? Good. Works on mobile, works everywhere. That's how you achieve it. Good question, Tina. Next up, we have Kira. Is Kira here? Kira. Yes, Kira's here. Kira says, since we have launched and done a couple sites for clients, we are getting daily calls and emails from other less expensive web design agencies and getting messages claiming our sites, claiming our clients' sites aren't tracking. And they'll push our sites up to the top of Google. Oh, how nice of them. Which is so funny. You know the reason why they're contacting you and your clients? Because you are appearing in Google. It's exactly why. Like, how do you think they found you? They Googled you. um, do you have any text or script specifically around overcoming those types of competitor challenges? Well, certainly. I mean, you get these calls, just ignore them. If they're being submitted through your client sites, like as form submissions, it's going to get most likely flagged as spam, and they'll never see it. If they're getting actual phone calls, tell them get used to it. This is the price you got to pay for being popular on the internet. There's no great way to avoid getting it. As far as what to say to them, the best thing is this: stop calling me. I'm very happy with my current website provider solution, and I am on a consistent uptick with my results. Put me on your do not call list. That's the best thing I could say. Kira also said, you showed us how to add videos. That was great. But do we have any stock videos? How do we add those to our personal websites? Okay, so one of the cool things about our integration with Pixabay and Unsplash is that they give us lots of images, but they can also provide videos. The thing is that you can't find those videos with our integration with them. You have to go directly to Pixabay. So it's kind of a two-step process. You find the video that you like on Pixabay. So let's just say it's whatever, I don't know. Yeah, strawberry, sure. You're going to download this video and then you're going to upload it to a YouTube. That takes about 4.5 minutes. So grab the download, upload it to YouTube, and then copy and paste the YouTube link into the site. How do you do that, Justin? Let me show you. Let's say we want to swap this cute little girl out with a video of someone eating ice cream. What I would do is remove the image and then add a video. From here, I copy and paste the YouTube URL that I got when I uploaded the video, and then it's going to preview here for me. Click OK, and now the video plays in the background. So that's if you want to do that. That's how it's done. Is Rehan here? By the way, if you guys are adding follow-ups, I apologize because I'm not reading them at the moment. Rehan's here. He's like, yep, I am. Cool. Rehan, I've retained a client. I'm working on creating a site for them, but they have instructed me they want the site to be somewhat elegant. Is it possible to make a site and have a feel like the images below? Okay, and you also asked, is there a way to reduce the size of social media icons? I am going to log your request, reducing the size of social media icons. You're the second person who asked this in anticipation of today's call as a feature request, okay? I'm going to do that for you. You cannot do it right now, but I understand why you'd want that, and it's being logged as a feature request. We do not ignore your feature request. That's exactly how we determine what goes next into the platform. So the sites that that Rehan showed, I'm going to attempt to display these on the screen for you. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Let's see. I should have prepped this one ahead of time. All right, I'm going to pull 2 out of the 3 just because they're easier to look at. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. All right. Here's one, and here's two. Sorry if they're small, okay? So here's one. Now, the client is labeling elegant. Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you where the elegance is coming from. The elegance is primarily coming from the imagery. The imagery is what's making this feel elegant. The color palette is what's making this feel elegant. You'll also notice that they have adopted this technique of running the background image of the hero section into the header area. You can do this. You can do this. Do you want to see how? If you do, type in header as a question. And if 6 of you say header, I will demonstrate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, fine. We're doing it. We're doing it. Here we go. So let's take this cute little girl. Okay. Let's say we don't want her head to be chopped off. Okay. We want to see her cute little ponytail, whatever you call these. I don't know. I don't have girls. I'm not sure what to call these. Pigtails? I don't know. All right. From the design section, let's go to site background. And in the site background, I am going to find an image of the girl. How nice. And we are going to make that our site background. Excellent. Now we're also going to choose a color for the background, which is currently white. I'm going to get this pink color and we're going to incorporate that there. Excuse me, because this is an older site. Okay. What I mean by that is I don't have brand colors on here. So I have to go and find the color, which is right here. You know, let's make this a brand color right now. How about that? A lot of you like, why would you not have a color as a brand color? Yeah, well, guess what? The brand color feature isn't all that old. So we didn't have it. All right. So design, site background, we're going to load in a brand color as our background. Fantastic. Click on save. And then we're going to go to our header area and we're going to dial down the opacity of my header. Boop, 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 boop. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool how we did that? So here's what has to be true for this to work. Okay. What has to be true is that my hero image background color must be set to parallax. And it's right over here. It must be set to parallax scrolling. This way, it is perfectly in tune with the header, which is also going to lock this background image in. How would I amp this up to the next level? I'm going to change my navigation to be white because that's what I think would look better with the contrast on this. There you go. Look at that. That looks a lot better. Cool. All right. That's how you do it. That work for everybody? This is the second time this has happened here. Does everyone still see me as large as the screen? You shouldn't. You should see the screen like 90% and me like 10%. If it's more than that, I feel bad for you. But there is a way to do it. I'm 50-50 for you too, Kira. All right. So try hovering over the top right corner of the demo screen and look for arrows that go like this. Well, not like that. I don't know, away from each other, like an expand button. And see if you can click that over the demo screen. You have control over this, believe it or not. You can control what percentage. I can try and override it. Let me see. Nope. Hold on. How about now? Did that change anything? Cool. Yeah, sometimes if you came in with a certain browser size or something like that, it's going to automatically reconfigure things, but hopefully this fixed it up. So if you've been, I should ask that question ahead of time now. Let's put a little reminder for myself in the beginning. Ask if people can see the screen larger than my mug. All right, cool. Here we go. Next question came from, oh yeah, so back to what I was saying. So we're dealing with this image, this photo, and you could definitely run the image up into the header area to replicate a lot of what you see here. This mobile version, nothing special. It's just an image and text underneath it. So nothing nice there. The color palette is playing a role here, black and white. I do think that that does scream elegance. This here is a crazy, crazy post. I would not call this elegant. I'd call this loud and borderline difficult to read. So I don't think she'd want to actually preserve this element. It would be difficult to replicate and it'd be difficult to appreciate on mobile as well. So I wouldn't recommend even considering something like this. Stick with more um, clean laid out images. So yeah, I don't see why not. The second version you sent me is this. Now, this very similar color palette. Notice we're going dark with light text. The difference is they've incorporated a little bit of light. I'm going to call this gold-ish color and the text as well. So I think that's a nice touch that adds some elegance to it. This is just one image. So this is similar to what was asked earlier. Is like, hey, I want multiple images into, to be next to my text or whatever. Just, I mean, look, they got creative. I'll have to say they got creative. The first one, I'll say they invested in good photography. That goes a long way. And again, you're talking about three really nice photos of really beautiful settings in a home, and then they added this cool effect to it. And this is all done custom imagery inside of something like a Photoshop or a Canva. So if you want to be able to produce stuff like this, get yourself comfortable playing around inside of Canva or inside of Photoshop, and you'll be able to generate really nice images like this that can step up the perceived value of the site very quickly. Everything else here, I'm not concerned about. I mean, again, you have a plain background, you have some text, you have an image. That's all this is. Don't overthink this, Rihan. I think you have full potential to be able to sell a beautiful site to this client that they'll be really, really happy with, using what you have built in, and play around. If you need help achieving a specific look or want ideas on how to achieve a specific look, after you try, write a support ticket to us. Be very specific. Tell us what you're aiming for, and we'll be happy to step in and see what we can do to assist you. Is Usha on the call today? Usha. I'm like expecting you guys to say here. You just have to put a question post. Yes, Usha's here. All right. Usha says, can I use Zoom for a website demo? You can, but you shouldn't have to. So if you look at the resources section of your dashboard, look at the training section. I want you to look at lesson number 9, how to present a website demo to a prospect. You don't need Zoom. You don't need it. You are probably just going to delay the presentation of the website if you insist them using Zoom. Because if you're like most people, or if they're like most people, they're not going to have the latest version of Zoom downloaded. It's going to take them 5 minutes to do it. Then they'll get frustrated, start to blame you for their tech issues. And then before you know it, you're going to dig yourself out of a hole. You're 10 minutes behind and things are not going as planned. Best thing to do, follow our instructions. Get them on the phone at your scheduled time. Make sure they're in front of their email. Oh, are you in front of your email? Great. Confirm that email address for me. Blah, blah, blah. Perfect. Send. That is when you send them the link to the site. Great. Did you get the link? Fantastic. Click on it for me. All right. Let me know when the homepage loads. Perfect. Now don't scroll. I'm going to walk you through the step by step. I'll tell you when to scroll. Got it? Got it. Good. And you walk them through it. That's how you do it. Don't use Zoom unless you, for some reason, really love Zoom and know that they will love it too. Usha also says, how do I deactivate a demo preview if the sale doesn't go through? If the sale doesn't go through, you can do a couple different things. So the first thing you do is from your edit screen, the site details page, you can take the site offline. Taking the site offline will render it invisible to anyone trying to access the site. They cannot access the site in the future. The second thing you could do, if for some reason you wanted to keep this live and accessible to you and someone else, but you just didn't want them to see it, what you can do is you can rename the subdomain. So you can do something else instead of this. Just totally rename it. And now the link you sent them is going to be bad. And there's going to be a new link that they'll use. So that's what you can do if that happens. If you want to also, you can just completely delete the site right from here. Delete. And then you can replace this site with another site. Not sure if you guys know this, but from your managed sites area, let's just say I delete this, okay? If I delete this site, you're going to see this pop up. Deleted sites, 1. And this will show your deleted sites for 10 days. So if you delete something, you can restore it for 10 days. And while it's in this state, it does not count toward your site limit. Okay? Armando. Is Armando here? How do we put our attendees in alphabetical order? Is that possible? Does anyone know? My moderators, if you can do that, I'll be forever grateful to you. Armando is not here. We are working on something in a support ticket for Armando, but wait, Ed, you're telling me you're Armando? I see you writing here when I'm asking for Armando. Maybe you're responding to something else. I don't know. All right. How about Balaji? Is Balaji here? No? Okay. Let's move on. Oh, but actually, Balaji had one thing I just want to touch on. Balaji, want to know if we have a theme for a specific industry? Oh, Ed, you go by Armando for real? Do you really? I'm so confused right now. Ed's telling me he goes by Armando. I'll answer. Oh, you go ahead. Okay. I think your question was better than Armando's anyway, so don't worry about it. Let's go back to Balaji. Balaji wants a specific theme for actually a medical supplies company. So I just want you to know that you can submit themes anytime by going to the support console, submitting a request, and getting specific about what you want. If you want to, I don't know if you guys know this or not, if you want to prioritize a theme request you have made, $99 will get it for you in about a week. Okay. So just to point something out to you on the create new site screen, almost all of these recently released themes are a direct product of one of you saying, I need this and I need this now. Paying $99 and getting a professionally designed theme for this industry. No questions asked. We do it for you. This is how you get the themes you need instantly. Well, not instantly, but pretty darn quick. We put a ton of time and effort into this in a very condensed fashion and prioritize your needs. Christopher, I know, is here. Christopher said, what online video sharing platforms are currently being used for website demos? Similar to the other question, you shouldn't be doing any sort of video sharing. Just call, send them the email link, and then have them pull it up. How are the demos received versus the traditional link sharing way? Again, I think I answered that question. I don't think going through a video demo is necessary. I've sold so many sites with a phone call that requires a lot less coordination and frustration. If you're not selling sites with this method, then I want to help you audit it. I want you to record the next one you do. I want you to use a phone recording service. I want you to send us the link to the site you were showing them. And I want to help you understand what perhaps might be going wrong if you're not following the protocol very, very specifically that we outline in the video lesson number 9. This is one of the best lessons, honestly, how to present a website demo to a prospect. Okay. Next up is Lisa. Lisa's got this great question and concern that she's up against. And I just want to put this out there for all of you. Anyone who is currently dealing with cold outreach and you have discovered something that's different than what we suggest, post it now into the questions. But let me go through what Lisa's up against. Lisa says, I'm having a tough time getting business owners to talk to me. I've had a lot of people hang up on me. While I'm speaking, some of these people are clearly on the job when they answer their phone, and they tell me they're not interested as soon as they think I'm selling something. If we are calling small business owners, how do we get them to speak to us? I'm finding the downside to this audience is that they answer their phone and don't want to talk while they're working. I'm targeting businesses, for example, HVAC, that do not have a website at all. the low-lying fruit, as you call it, and I'm getting discouraged. Okay. So I did mention earlier about HVAC companies that sometimes the best time to call them is going to be after hours, so after traditional work hours. But um, if you have found resistance among a specific industry, do not feel obligated to continue beating down on that industry if you're just not having any success. Go to a different industry. Don't torture yourself. But with that said, you still have opportunities. Do you guys hear that background noise? I'm I have my my dog sharing the office with me today, and he's currently, I think, convinced there is some sort of treat or prize in the cushion of this couch behind me, and he is digging away at it like you have no idea. All right. So the first thing I would say is don't sound like a cold caller. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? We've all gotten calls from cold callers. They tend to have high energy. They tend to be very polished. They tend to, I don't know. It's just like they just reek from commission breath, as we've heard. So uh, don't sound like them. Instead, bring your energy down. Okay, remove the polish. Talk to them as a person. One thing that I will share is that I've seen people actually have a lot of success actually identifying as a cold caller. Like, hey, John, this is Justin. Totally random call, but can I ask you something real quick? And then you can get into it. You can even go and start something like, "Hey, I know I sound like every other cold call, and you probably want to hang up, but if I could just tell you in 20 seconds why what I'm going to share might be different, would that be okay? Just give me 20 seconds." You can definitely do that. The other thing I would do is I would highly recommend avoiding the "How are you" trap. It's so easy to say, "Hey, it's Justin. How are you?" That's such an easy thing. That just gives them time to think, all right, who the heck are you and why the heck are you calling me? The next three words out of your mouth better be, I'm not cold calling, or otherwise I'm hanging up, because I have definitely been guilty of that. Kevin's talking about permission based openers. That's exactly right. You want to basically ask permission for a brief period of time that they can speak with you. I'll tell you what else really works too is making it easy for them to say no. So, all the sales books for decades have encouraged salespeople to capture small yeses and then build upon those yeses. So, get the client comfortable with saying yes until the point where you can make the big ask. And then they've been used to saying yes, therefore, they say yes to that. Well, all of this yes work has actually made the people on the other end of a cold call feel like they're being trapped by saying yes. So, what they will do is they will, even if they don't think, if they can't honestly answer the question no, they will still say no to whatever it is. But so, like, don't you think having a website's important in 2025? No. Like, they will just avoid saying yes because they don't want to fall into the trap of being convinced to say yes over and over again. So, make it okay for them to say no. Give them a question that by saying no, they are actually taking a step forward. So, what you might say is, hey, is there a really good reason you don't have a website right now? No. Oh, okay. So there's no reason why you don't have a website right now. So, like, obviously, don't sound surprised to hear them say no, but then you can build off of that. Okay. So, if you can get them to say no in a way that is going to propel the conversation forward, you will likely have a much greater chance of getting past that, whatever it is, that 5, 10, or 15-second mark that you've been struggling with in those cold calls, and building a little bit of rapport. You also may want to introduce other things to your introduction. So, like, one of the worst ways to start a cold call is like, hey, I'm Justin from so and so, and I'd like to talk to you about. It's like, okay, that's clearly a cold call. But I would like to also hear you talk about something that is going to localize you or something that's going to help you identify with the area or relate to them or their business or their industry, so that you can have a more casual, friendly conversation, not a sales conversation. I'll leave you with another tip before I go into what some other people are saying. Um, uh, Try your best to understand and rationalize that what you are doing is helping them, you're not selling them. You have to be totally convinced that you are helping them. And if you are, you will notice a lot of things change about your tone, about your eagerness, about your willingness to call back, all these things. So go in with the help servant mentality. You'll notice a difference. Let's see. Craig is offering a format that he found works good. He says, tell them where you found them. I like that one. Tell them you run a business where your customers are only small businesses. I like that too. Like I often say this about like if you have difficulty differentiating yourself, like, well, why should I choose you? Well, just like you, I'm a fellow business owner and I know how important it is for you to work with vendors who are also business owners so you get the attention to the problems, issues, and concerns that you have in a way that shows that I really care about you. So that's really good. Highlight you're a business owner and not just some employee. And Craig also says, tell them, so I'm giving you a cold call. Do you want to hang up aggressively or do you, I like this. Do you want to hang up aggressively or do you have 30 seconds so I can tell you why I called you specifically? I like that, Craig. That's a very good line. I really like that. And Craig says, rarely, if ever, do I have someone hang up on me with that technique. Thanks for sharing that. That's very good. Jonathan says, rather than going into it as a cold call, say something about the weather, news, family, etc. After they relax with your comments, then tell them who you are and finally get into why you call them. John, if this works for you, I'd be a little surprised only because I know that small talk is often a telltale sign of a cold call or a sales call. Um, but that's just my 2 cents. Kevin says, "Who else would love if we did a live cold calling session? That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. You shouldn't just like listen to someone do cold calls the entire time. Is that what you're saying? I don't know if I'd ever want to listen to that, but yeah, that'd be cool. I think you mean just like talking cold calling throughout the entire session. That could be fun. All right, on to Craig's question. Craig says, "What's the best?" So Lisa, go back. Sorry, Lisa. I hope some of this was helpful to you. If it wasn't, let us know. But I want to encourage you, and I hope you heard everyone talk about their successes in just the past week, even. Do not get discouraged by the fact that one particular industry and five bozos in particular have hung up on you. Okay. There are so many other people out there. There are so many different times of the day to call. There's so many different industries to talk to. There's so many different markets you can sell HVAC into. Like the limits are limitless. Craig says, what's the best way to get pictures to make the website look more like it is local? This is an interesting one. I'm working on a roofing company in Arizona. I used Unsplash and Pixabay. I can't seem to find pictures that actually look like houses or roofing contractors in the area. Craig, this is a tricky one. Very, very tricky because it's hard enough as it is to find good roofing photos and gutter photos and stuff like that. It's hard. So if the client doesn't have any, then I would recommend exploring some AI stuff. There is a couple of websites I've seen people have some success with. One is FreePic. One is Canva. Canva is a really good AI image generator. And you just tell it what you want to see, and you can do it. ChatGPT even will allow you to do some stuff with images. If you find an image of a person working on a roof, or if you find, let's just say you find an image of a house that looks like an Arizona home, okay? Upload that and then say, into whatever this AI program is, can you place a roofing contractor on the roof doing work? And that might be one of the easier ways to generate that action shot because you're getting the actual type of home that you want. All you got to do is find a way to incorporate some sort of activity with it. The other thing I'll say is if that doesn't work, and if you still struggle, just focus on the home then. Just get the homes right. And look, you're not going to find images in Pixabay or Unsplash with homes that look like junk. You're going to find nicely lit photos, nicely landscaped homes, and just use that because ultimately you are selling not the service, but the result. A roofer is not selling the service of, I'm going to walk on your roof and put down 2 layers of this and put a ridge vent on top. That's not what they're selling. What they're selling is a leak-free home that looks beautiful and professional and will last 20 years. So what they would often like to present to their potential clients is a beautiful home with a beautiful roof that looks well kept and in a nice neighborhood. Because that's what people are really aspiring to. And like, I need a new roof. I need my house to look better. I need to stop the water leaks. I need to not have shingles fall off every time we get a gust of wind. All right. Is Alexis here? I need my afternoon cup of coffee so bad right now. I should have poured it before. Alexis is here. Alexis says, I have a Yahoo email address. Would you recommend getting a professional email to run the business? No, don't waste your time. Just get whatever your business name is, get that at yahoo.com. Call it a day. Someone mentioned downloading a particular app that allows you to utilize an additional number. Yeah. So if you go to the resources section of your dashboard, scroll down and find this link right here, click visit link, and you can this is an app that goes onto your phone, allows you to call out from a different phone number. Very, very effective. I like it a lot. Ruel. Oh, let me just go back and see what Lisa wrote. Lisa says, thank you, Justin. Thank you, everyone. Good food for thought. I'm too polished, and I never thought it would be good to call after hours. So there you go. Try one thing at a time, Lisa. One thing at a time. Don't do too much at the same time. Maybe there's something about your level of polish that really is good. It's just timing is bad. So change the time first. And then if that doesn't work, change the pitch. You can reverse it, change the way you sound, and call it the regular times. So experiment with that, please. And Jason has a suggestion for Alexis. No, for Craig about the photos of people on roofs and things. Look at their Facebook page. They might have some. That is a good suggestion. Sammy's offering something. How about you do a video where you interview a handful of your most wildly successful cold callers and they can provide tips and maybe record them doing a few live cold calls. I love it. Sammy, great idea. All right. Craig, you're welcome. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Okay. Next up is Ruel. Is Ruel here? Ruel, we might actually get through all these questions today. That would be amazing. Be even faster if I could find who was on here I can search by name. All right, Ruel is not on. Let's go to Evi, who had some questions. I know Evi's here. All right. Evi says, I signed up a month ago and I was afraid that with just the first month membership payment, I was afraid that I was not going to be able to pay my next month. But then just a week ago, I started to talk to a friend that has a small business and come to know I now have 2 customers working on their sites. And just yesterday, I have a 3rd potential customer. And all 3 are through warm prospecting. Lisa, by the way, Lisa, have you done social outreach yet? Have you done warm outreach yet? Make sure you give those a very good chance at working before you dive into cold. Okay. So Eva, I'm really happy to hear that. Now the questions Eva has are this. About the Stripe account, is that the only service that can be used as a payment option? You can use, you want to collect crypto from somebody? Go ahead. But if you want to be able to track it within the client billing functionality, so you can see at a glance who's active, who's past due, who's canceled, etc., you're going to need to use a Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or Amex, and that is what Stripe accommodates. On the very bottom of my site, Evi says, there is a link designed by my company that can I hyperlink it to my site. So by default, you are going to see, why is this site in Spanish? Oh, because I have this widget on it. I was preparing for the video that I recorded, so I left it on here. Are you going to see designed by, and then this is your business name, and it is clickable, so it will take you to your site. How do you do that? From your dashboard, to go to account and then private labeling. And then right over here, you're going to see website credit. This can say anything you want it to. Designed by Rockstar Web Pros, and here's the link. So all of this text will be linked to this URL. It's as simple as that. We have an article on this as well. If you need help with private labeling, type private labeling, and we will get you a link to that. All right, next up from Evi, one of my customers has a website he did himself through Yahoo. He says he has a domain. Can I use it for his new website? 100%, Evi. Any domain purchased from anywhere can be pointed to any SiteSwan site. No need to get a new domain name. Does the website need to have a complete address or just the city and state with the zip code? On the website, because the customer does not want to put the whole address. Is that okay to have it? Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to put the full address. Will it help if they do put the full address? Yes, it will. It's kind of one of those not often talked about things that help with local SEO is putting a full address. But hey, if they really, really don't want it, just know that if they do have it, it will be better for them. But if they don't technically have to. Sammy's on. Let me get to Sammy's questions. And Sammy has said, and I see you upload another one too here. So when you get to all these. Sammy, for those who fill out my website's contact form, but then ghost me, or claim they don't remember filling out the form, that's weird. I plan on sending them a series of emails educating them on the need for a modern website. We call this a drip campaign, by the way. I was thinking one per week for 7 weeks. Is that a good frequency and quantity of follow-up, or do you recommend something else? I do recommend something else, and that is going to be putting less space in between the emails. If so, my suggestion would be to wait maybe 1 or 2 days in between emails. 7 is a good number. I would also try to make sure you're peppering in phone calls along with the emails. Don't just rely on the email drip campaign to do all the work. Call them also. Hit them from all sides. It's a little interesting that people would submit their information through the website and not reply back. I mean, I guess it can happen. In your experience, when responding to an online lead submission, have you found it's better to make initial contact via phone or email? Both, 100% both. Everybody's different. You got to try both. One of my customers, oh boy. Oh, Sammy, your customers, wants to have a page with her LLC's incorporation documents and place her EIN number on the footer. No, it's not a good idea. I don't see why she would want to divulge that type of information. No one cares. No one needs to know. So yeah. Samuel said, how about doing, oh wait, that was a different one. I saw that one already. Sammy, do you have something else? Don't know. Don't know. All right. Let's see what else we got. Craig, is Craig on? I can search. Craig is not on. Okay. Craig jumped off, so he was on. So I'm going to answer this question for Craig. Craig R. Craig is having difficulty with a particular URL for one of his sites. I just want to make something 100% clear to you guys, okay? When you are sharing a link to a website for your client, okay? Best practice, click on this link. Do not copy this link. Click on this link. Once you load up the site, then copy it from here. Why am I saying this? Because technically, this is a long, see at the very, very bottom of my screen here, the little thing that popped up all the way down here? Watch this. Can I get it to happen again? Yeah, see this little thing down here? That tells you the actual URL it's going to, which is a very long URL that is actually going to check to see if you're logged into the SiteSwan platform. And if you're not, it's not going to let you access the page. So best practice is to load the site in a different, click the link, and then from this link, then you grab the URL, copy and paste it into an email for the client. Then they'll be able to see it in all its glory. No problems at all. Let me see anyone who is live asked a question that we can quickly tackle before we sign off. Craig says, does the video need to be made public on YouTube in order for the video to play on the site? I don't think so. No, it does not need to be public. It can be private. It can be unlisted if I'm not mistaken. So you're all good there. But if you're concerned, like, hey, I'm going to muff up my YouTube account by having all these random vids in there, then just create a separate YouTube account. Not sure if you guys know this, but you can actually have a second YouTube channel with your same YouTube login that would just house these random videos if you wanted to do that. Jeff says, can we have the header stay in place and not move with the page? And can we add more customization to the header section? I have a client who's asking this. So Jeff, not yet, but the idea of a sticky header is actually rising up to the very, very top of our backlog in terms of our product development. So that's coming soon. And we're actually currently working on the idea of adding buttons into the header also. So that's going to be awesome. Okay, Andre, can I import custom Google fonts? You can't do it yourself, but you can ask our support team and we'll happily add them for you so long as it's something that's not like almost identical to something else that we have. Pedro says, what are the clicking steps to add a Spanish version of the website? I'm going to refer you to the video that is on our YouTube. That's the best thing. Just watch this. It'll explain this in gruesome detail. Jason says, I'd like to have all my payments on Stripe due on the same day. How do we prorate the first month on Stripe? I don't know of a good way to prorate it, Jason. What I would do instead of saying all the payments on the same day, I spread them out. So this is my technique. Okay, you don't have to do this, but it's my technique. I do the 1st of the month, the 7th of the month, the 14th of the month, the 21st of the month, and the 28th of the month. Do I do the 8th? I think I do the 8th, 28th. I don't know. It's your choice, 4 or 5. Pick those 4 or 5 dates. This way, no matter what day of the month you sign someone up at, you'll have one of your billing dates coming up or have just passed, so that you can set the recurring charge to be on that date. So if I go to set up upfront and recurring fee, like today is the 9th, okay? So if I sold someone a site today and I launched it today, I would go ahead and set my recurring charge for June 7th. So 1, 7, 14, 21, 28. That's how I would do it. Okay. Putting it all to the first will see the reason I don't like going all in the same day, because it's just like you get like this like burst of revenue and then the rest of the month is just dry. I like to have things spread out. It feels like you're making more than you actually are, oddly enough. And you never have an issue of losing out on a portion of your revenue because you waited too long to bill somebody. Jeff says, I transferred a domain for a client from UltraHost to Cheap and Easy Domains. Smart. The client's domain is now locked because it hasn't been active for 60 days. That's supposedly an ICANN rule. Should I purchase a new domain or wait until the other becomes active? So when you say not active, does that mean you actually cannot make any DNS changes to it? Or I think it just means you can't move it again to a different provider. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact of of making the DNS changes so that you can point the site live. If you don't see the option, call Cheap and Easy, and they might be able to help you out with that. But I don't feel like that's a thing. Yeah, Sammy's with me. He's like, it means you can't transfer it again. You can still make DNS changes. Jeff, if you can't make DNS changes, so I wonder if they block name server changes. No, they can't possibly do that. I can't imagine them doing that. Jeff, why don't you do this? I think my moderator is about to reply to you, but why don't you create a ticket, grant us access to your cheap and easy domains account, and maybe we can go in, poke around, and see if we can understand how that can happen. Mike has an idea for you, Jeff, about prorating. He's like, hey, if you really want to have that first of the month thing, then just modify their setup fee to accommodate the extra amount you'll have to charge them for prorating. Or let's say you did 0 setup fee, but you want to charge them on the first. It's the 9th right now. Do your math. It comes out to like whatever, like 20 30ths or whatever um, of your monthly fee. Charge that as your setup, and then just get their first recurring monthly fee on the first. All right. With that, I think we're ready to go. So before we wrap up, I want to do one thing. You know, this tradition for those of you who've been here before. Give me one thing, one key takeaway, something you heard asked, something you heard answered, something you heard someone else say, something you're intrigued by. Post it as a question right now. I'm going to quickly read them off. I want to know what's working for all of you. I want you all to know what's working for everybody else so that we all come to the table even more prepared next time so that we can get all the answers everybody has. Nope, all the questions everybody has answered. All right. Andre says Pixabay videos. I had no idea that existed. Yep, it is there. It is there. Pixabay videos, and there's a couple other providers that do that as well. Justin appreciates the header trick. Thought that was pretty cool. Yes, the extending the image into the header is a very nice touch. Usha says the header, video, and images. Good, I'm glad. Pedro says your live weekly hosted coaching interactive. Hey, Pedro, attend all these, dude. We're here. We're here and we love to help. Christy said, like the idea of spreading out payments every week and love the suggestions for AI photos and Grasshopper phone service. Good, I'm glad. Lisa, I'm this is my key takeaway too. I do like this. Telling your potential client where you saw them or how you found them. I could imagine like, hey, I saw your truck driving on Main Street earlier this week. Looks really good. Hey, but I noticed that your truck doesn't have your web address on it. Do you guys have a domain name? Carrie says, being convinced you are helping them, not selling. That's a big one. Kevin likes the idea that new features are going to be added to the header section. Oh, yeah. I like the idea of buttons, but maybe even the option to put it. Oh, here we go. That wasn't enough for you, was it, Kevin? The buttons weren't enough. Now Kevin wants phone numbers and all sorts of things. Well, here's the deal, Kevin. You can make one of the buttons say a phone number. At least I think you'll be able to do that and have it be clickable. So if that's something you want to do, you can. Sammy appreciates the answers to his questions and appreciates the idea of using Canva and Grasshopper. And Christopher says, understanding to use the link as the demo instead of a screen sharing option. Well, that's awesome. Evi also says, I'm glad all my questions were answered and I'm excited that I can be done. Just put your mind into it. That's exactly what the name of the game is here, Evi. Putting your mind to it, following the script, following the process, the plan. Don't try to change things up from what we've prescribed. We've put a lot of energy into showing you the best ways to get clients. We are not in competition with you. We are on your side. We want you to find success. So what we are showing you works. I promise. Okay? Everyone, Friday's not over yet. I say this every week. Friday is not over yet. You still have time to close deals. You still have time to book appointments. You have time to launch a site. You have the whole weekend to work on the launch plan. You have so much time ahead of you yet, even though it's Friday afternoon, East Coast. Let's get to it. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. Thank you for being part of the SiteSwan family. Reach out to us and support if you need us, and we'll talk to you all later. See ya.